everyone, my name is Teacher Lena and welcome to my channel. I am an online teacher, and on my channel I like to help other teachers to build their online teaching careers. So if you are interested in hearing about companies that I work for, things that I use in my classroom, or things that just work for me, then you're in the right place. And in this video, I wanted to help you to know a little bit more about online teaching to see if it's right for you. Some people right now are just trying to decide, like, is online teaching right for me? Should I get into this online teaching career right now? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about some things that you need and, some things that you may not know about online teaching. But before I get into this video, I just want to draw your attention to my description box. I do have some things for teachers who are starting to build their online teaching careers. There's companies that I've worked for, links, affiliate links for things I use in my classroom. You can look down below, and some things that I'll be talking about in this video will be linked down below too. And if you might want to talk a little bit more about your particular situation as somebody who's interested in teaching online, then please check out my email. My email is down below too. You can send me a message and we can set something up. I do offer mentoring and I can give you more information about that if you're interested in just hearing or asking me questions about my experience and just knowing particular details about what your situation what you need to help in your situation. So you can go ahead and send me a message and I'll help you out. All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about two different types of teaching companies that you can teach with online. There's ESL companies that you can teach with, as well as non-ESL companies that you can teach with. Okay, so if you want to teach with an ESL company, teaching English to people online, then normally you would be given a curriculum or a lesson for the student that's already picked out for you. And so for some people, they really like that option. But for non-ESL companies, you generally have to create your own curriculum. So something to keep in mind, if you are interested in making your own curriculum, then that might be a good fit for you. But if you're not, then you might want to go the ESL route. So do you need to have a bachelor's degree to teach online? Many people want to know. Well, there are companies that you do need bachelor's degrees for, and there are some companies that you don't need bachelor's degrees for. But if you do have a bachelor's degree, well, you would earn more money. So it does help you in the long run to have it, but if you don't, there are companies you can still apply to. But if you are looking for a bachelor's degree program where you can spend less money than your traditional school and finish quicker, there is a program that I know about. It's USILACS. I know teachers that have gone through it and they're able to teach online with the degree that they've earned through this program. So if you want to know more about that program, please check down below and let them know that I sent you, because then you get a discount. And also let me know that you're interested and I can kind of help you, lead you in the right direction too. But if you do have a bachelor's degree, some people ask the question, do you have to have it in education or, teaching, children? No, you don't. I have a bachelor's degree in science. So I was able to teach online with my bachelor's degree in science. So it does, as long as you have a bachelor's degree, if a company requires you to have one, then you don't necessarily have to have one in education. But then there are companies that you need to have a ESL certificate for, and some companies that you don't need to. More and more, you do need to have an ESL certificate if you want to teach English online, and that would be a TESOL. And if you do need one, you can get one for an inexpensive amount also. Check out the description box down below for more information. And you could get one for, it's like $20. It's really not that much to get it. So but that's only if you're going to teach English online. If you don't want to teach English online, you don't need it. And then also, do you need to have a teacher's certificate, like a certificate that you would need to teach at a public school in America? Nope, you don't need that either. So don't worry about that. Now, some things you do need to have is you need to be able to smile. Obviously, you need to have enthusiasm when you teach. You need to have, some level of of energy when you're teaching to your student, because you got to think these people are looking at you on a screen. They can easily be doing something else. So you need to be able to captivate your students, whether it be kids or adults. You need to be able to captivate them so that they are wanting to sit there and, endure a lesson with you. And you don't want them to feel like they're enduring it. You want it to be fun, especially for kids. Adults are different, but for kids, you want it to be fun, and you need to be able to make it fun for them. Now, what about the pay? Some people are really concerned. Obviously, I would be too. Like, what are you going to be able to earn? Well, when I first started working as an ESL teacher on doing this part-time, I was able to make $500 to $700 a month part-time. There were some teachers who were doing it part-time and making, up to $1,500 a month. So it just depends on how much time you want to put into it. But if you want to do it as a full-time teacher, well, that amount could be, depending on if you want to teach English online or if you want to just make your own classes. People make a lot of money teaching these classes online. So there's really not a limit. I can't really give you the highest range that you could earn. But I will say that now that I'm teaching full time, I was able to replace my income as a classroom teacher. And actually it's more than that. So I was comfortably, teaching without feeling like I was losing money. And also, the different companies, obviously, they will pay you differently. So if you're teaching English online, the ranges are between $10 an hour to $24 an hour. Obviously, you'll get more if you have a bachelor's degree. And also for non-ESL companies, a lot of times you're setting your own price. So for Outschool, which I teach for, they can, the average pay for teachers who are teaching on Outschool is $50 an hour. So yeah, you can make a good amount of money if you want to create your own lessons. It does require a little extra time in doing it, but you can make a lot more money. Now, there are some platforms where you can teach other things outside of English and create your own classes, and you don't set your own price, like with a platform called Kids Connected. They are a company where they just give you a set price, and that's like $15 an hour. So yeah, there's different pay even with companies that are non-ESL companies. Now the hours, well, I live in North America. I live in Central Standard Time. When I first started, I had to get up early to teach the classes that I wanted to teach, part-time and full-time. When I was doing it full-time, when I decided to change to full-time, I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning to start my classes and teach till 8 in the morning, or sometimes 9, depending on if it was Central Standard Time. So you got to think, if you are in the same type of time zone, are you able to get up early and teach those type of classes for teaching ESL? It does require some time in the morning to be able to do that. Or you could teach at night too, but still it's not as many classes that are available at night. So a lot of teachers do teach most of their classes in the morning. Now, they do base their classes on Beijing time, since most of the ESL companies teach to kids who are in China. They do have, the hours times are based upon Beijing time zone. So let me just give you like what their peak hours are generally for the companies that teach in China. 9 a.m. Beijing time to 11 a.m. Beijing time, Monday through Sunday. And 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday, Beijing time. You could generally work outside of these times too, but you have to keep in mind, you're not going to get as many classes as easily outside of those times. It is possible. There are teachers that fill up times outside of that, but it's not as easy. So what I did was I taught early in the morning, and then if my classes did not get fully booked in the time slots that I opened up, then I was trying to find companies, and I did find companies that I was able to teach for later in the day. And these were companies that were not really teaching mainly to China. So that would be like Cambly and iTutor Group, and they did pay me less, but it was okay because I was expanding my schedule and teaching outside of the morning times. So that's the way I handled that before I started working with Outschool. And now that I work with Outschool, I work in the afternoon. I just work from, well, not in the afternoon, but I work normal hours that I would if I was working in a classroom. So I work between 8 and 2 or 3. Those are the hours that I choose. And some teachers work later and some teachers work earlier. And with Outschool, you can set your times, and this is also with other companies where you are creating your own classes. Because you're teaching the kids all over the world, you can set your own times. So you don't necessarily just have to teach, in the morning or in the evening. You're setting your own time, and it's a lot more flexible. Now, each company will have their different requirements. To keep that in mind, you'll have to think about what company you are interested in, and then you'll have to research it for yourself. But some companies will ask for their teachers to be native English speakers. Some companies won't require it, but they'll want you to teach or be able to speak fluent English. So that's something you'll have to look into when you're looking at the company that you want to work for. And also, some companies will require you to live in certain areas of the world too. So you kind of have to look into the company and see what their requirements are for that. Now let's talk about the setting and the equipment that you will need. Now, obviously, if you're teaching online, you're going to want to have a quiet environment. So make sure that your family can be occupied or sleep or out of the house when you're teaching. So you need to have a quiet environment. You obviously need to have a laptop, a webcam, and Wi-Fi with a strong connection. And then you'll need to have USB headphones with a boom mic. So yeah, most companies will require you to use this. Not all, like for Outschool, I don't have to have it. But usually when you're teaching for an ESL company, they'll want you to have a headset. And then you don't always have to have a background that looks like, you're in a classroom, but many ESL companies do want you to have what looks like, kind of like a classroom setting where you have your name tag, maybe a welcome sign, some little decorations that will make the kids smile and kind of make it look, fun for that a kid would, enjoy. But if they don't require you to have a teaching background, then just make sure that you have it, neat, clean, not cluttered, not distracting. Now, what I do when I first started, I used a stand and I hung a teaching picture, a picture of like, a chalkboard with an apple and some decorations. It just looked kind of like a classroom. And I bought it off of Amazon and I hung it on my sign, on my stand. And that worked. And sometimes I actually use a green screen to create a background setting too. On that same stand, I have a green screen that I will hang a green, sheet. Well, it's a green piece of material that I'll hang from that same stand and reflect the digital background off of that green screen. It just depends. I don't always have the same background. I change things up, but just so you know, those are things that you can use to create a background for your teaching atmosphere. Some people worry about benefits, and that's a good thing to worry about. Yes, I understand. I was concerned too. And for me, I had insurance through my school that I was working with. So I had to find insurance for my family. And what, for some other people, they might be able to get insurance through your spouse. But what I did was, or what my family decided to do was use a co-op, an insurance co-op for our insurance. And that works well for us. We don't have like really major health issues. So an insurance co-op group where people pool their money together, and then, the company will pay out depending on what you need payment for. it's worked for me. They have more than one out there. If you Google insurance co-op, you'll see the different companies that pop up. That is one option. Or, there's other options too, but that's just one suggestion. I am by no means somebody who is an expert in the field of insurance and all of that, but that's just a tip for what my family does. Also, for taxes, that's another big concern. Taxes, you want to make sure you are saving money so that you can pay your taxes at the end of the year, and actually quarterly, and not get bogged down with a huge bill at the end. You are responsible for your taxes. They are not taking it out of your pay. So you need to be thinking about that. And it's ideal to pay quarterly. That's all I'm going to say about that. But keep in mind that, teaching online is a wonderful thing to do now. A lot of teachers are doing it, and very successfully. And a lot of students want to learn online, so that, it's growing. It's growing with students and it's growing with teachers. But when it first started, obviously it was a lot easier to get students and bookings for teaching online. It was easier in the beginning, but now it's not as easy. It's not as easy. It's a little bit more work to get it, but it could be done. It could definitely be done, and it's definitely worth it. It just takes time. It took me a year of teaching part-time online and in the classroom before I decided to just do it full-time. I had to see that it was going to work for me, that I liked it, and that I was able to do it, and it was stable. That's how I did it. So you need to have a plan how you're going to transition, and take your time in doing it. Make sure that you have the time to try it out first before you make any drastic changes. If you have questions about concerns that you have in getting started and not really sure about what to do next, or if you just want to know about more resources that I have that can help you as a teacher, please go ahead and send me an email, and I can set up a time to meet with you. Or you can check out my channel more. I have lots more videos that can help you with that too. So that's all for this video. Have a great day. Bye.